DWIZ 882, nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama. Proud member of ALC Group of Companies. Isang pagpupugay, pasasalamat at pagsisikap ang pangako na aming bibitiwan sa lahat ng aming natanggap na pagpapala. Pagpupugay sa lahat ng nagbigay ng pagkilala sa Aliw Broadcasting Corporation mula sa Philippine Outstanding Brand of the Year, Philippine Finest Business Awards, and Outstanding Achievement, Asia Pacific Luminaire Awards, Southeast Asian Premier Business and Achiever Award. Sa aming mga natanggap, 4-time Best AM Station Awardee, DWIZ 882, 4-time Best Radio Newscaster Awardee, Dennis Antenor Jr., 3-time Best FM Station Awardee, Home Radio 97.9, 2-time Most Promising TV Station Awardee, Aliw Channel 23, at Best Public Service Radio Host Awardee, Bragi Braganza. Pangakong itutuloy ang pagbibigay ng tamang balita at tamang paglilingkod at isang malaking pasasalamat sa tiwalang naibigay sa amin. Pakaasahan yung gagawin naming malaking inspirasyon ito para ipagpatuloy ang maglingkod sa lahat ng Pilipino. Ang lahat ng opinyon, pagtingin, pananaw o kuro-kuro ng mga bisita at panauhin o mga anchors o host sa programang ito ay sarili at tanging opinyon at pananaw ng mga nabanggit at hindi opinyon o pananaw ng Aliw Broadcasting Corporation, mga producers o mga namamahala ng Aliw Broadcasting o anumang organisasyon na affiliated sa network at kailanman ay hindi iniendorso ng Aliw Broadcasting Corporation ang mga nabanggit na opinyon at pananaw sa programa.
Ang programang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng PAGCOR. Ang programang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng Petron. Petron knows you deserve only the best.
Moving forward kami sa Sulong na Bayan. Ang inyong paboritong public service program ay susulong na naman. Maririnig kami sa bagong time slot na alas 5 hanggang alas 6 ng gabi, Lunes hanggang Biyernes. Sa prime time slot na ito, higit na maraming listeners at viewers ang aabuti ng aming iba't ibang segments tulad ng Gospel Verse a Day, balita sa special sectors tulad ng OFW, senior citizens, Chinoy community at iba pang makabuluhang sektor. Makakasama ang veteran journalist na si Loli Acosta. Mabuhay! Sulong na Bayan!
Right, a blessed good afternoon to everyone. Today, we have a special farewell episode. Why farewell? We will ask him why he is leaving us. But yes, this is Sulong na Bayan, that's Soar High Philippines. So we want to just say hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening as the case may be, especially those in the United States, especially those in Australia, in Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Singapore, Hong Kong, Myanmar, Papua New Guinea, and we're also being watched at Macau. And here in our country, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. All right, good afternoon, good evening, and good morning as well. And now, we want to introduce to you the one who will leave us very soon, but the memories that he had left with us, the media men, the officials of this country, the leaders and the communities, we will never forget what he has done in our country. So let's welcome to our program no less than His Excellency, the Israelite Ambassador, His Excellency Ambassador Ilan Flus. Welcome to our program once again. This is your second time.
Yes, Magna Hapon Loli, thank you very much. Hapon, morning, evening, thank you very much for having me here once again with you, and hello to the viewers.
Okay, I'm a little bit sad, as I said earlier, but I know that this is not goodbye, because we will meet again, we will see you in Israel. I have been there a couple of times, but this time, you were not my friend yet then, but now that we have you, then we're looking forward to seeing you there. Okay, let's dive in. How would you summarize your 4-year mission as the Ambassador of Israel to the Philippines?
Wow, that's a tough question, but let me say one word.
Okay.
Successful. Without going into details, but I think These were really meaningful years, both for me personally, but I think also very meaningful and important for the relations between Israel and the Philippines. And we have invested so much to promote the relations, if it is on the formal diplomatic side and the government to government, but also on the people to people, and so much more connections and new relationships.
Yeah, I think it's countless times that you really helped everyone in this country. So the 4 years, like, so fast.
Yes,
Time
very
flies
fast.
so
Yes,
fast,
and
we are like, I don't know how you say it, we still want more. But yeah, let's go to my next question. What were the main goals you set out to achieve when you began your tenure, and how successful, you were saying it's really a success, but how successful were you in accomplishing them?
So my team and many people who know me know that I came here already with a very clear vision, which I always insisted to remind me, my team, and the people working with me. And that was in building bridges of innovation and technology between Israel and the Philippines. These bridges, which I'm talking about, of course, when you bridge between our two countries, is Israel as a source of innovation, of startups, of technologies that are being used globally. And we all know that I always talk about this, every smartphone has Israeli components. Cherry tomato, GP irrigation, Viber, Waze, so many technologies are serving humanity. And so my goal was to bring technologies, relevant technologies from Israel, and to make sure that they are implemented in the right way here in the Philippines. So this was my vision. I have to say that it was interrupted, unfortunately, in a certain stage, October 7, 2023, when the Hamas, the very known Hamas attack against Israel, slaughtering, murdering 1,200 Israelis, and also 4 Filipinos. This really was not only a trauma in Israel, but it was a shock, I think, for me, myself, personally, and also diplomatically. It brought a new dimension to our relations, which includes 4 Filipinos that were murdered in Israel. And how do I continue in engaging with the families? And also, we made sure that those families will continue to get support from the Israeli government for life. And that's a new dimension. It's also a bridge, very human bridge, but it's a bridge of terrorism or victims of terrorism, unfortunately. So it made it a little bit difficult, but I have to say that I continue from one side on working on those bridges, and I can talk about what was accomplished. If you want, I can give some examples. And of course, also talking about the human dimension and building bridges between people and communities.
Yeah, that's so hard, because you're saying it's a new dimension. You never have experienced that kind of a thing before.
Correct.
So highlighting the key projects, can you please highlight the key projects or initiatives you led that really strengthened the partnership between Israel and the Philippines?
Yes. So let me start actually with the latest one. The latest one, just yesterday, I inaugurated a learning center in Bacoor, in Cavite, which is a different kind of space for the children to learn informally through reading in educational books, which are also more entertaining, in playing educational games in a setting which is not the regular classical classroom.
What is it like?
You sit on the floor has, these special mattresses on the floor. Then we have bean bags and cushions.
To become.
Also a computer, of course, and everything else. But they can sit there on the floor, read fun books that are also educational, things from the Bible, different things, educational games, and it's an informal setting, so they can let themselves. So it's a different approach to education, and I think looking around, we have a challenge. So we sat there together. I was sitting there with Melio Ravilia, and we were basically.
What ages are they?
So it's for the elementary school, and they were sitting there in the classroom with the kids from 3rd grade.
3rd grade.
It actually was wonderful.
I know.
Wonderful. Sitting and reading together with them stories. Also as a human being, as a father.
Father yourself.
So my kids are already older, but it was really fun. Maybe I want to be now a grandfather.
Okay, you're ready.
And-
You're
and-
being prepared to be
And
a
this was, and
granddad.
it's not the first classroom that we did some in Metro Manila.
Okay.
So it's a small project which helps in, I think, in a modest way to educate future leaders of the country. So this is one project. So this was just an experience which I had yesterday afternoon. Second one is, if you remember, a few weeks ago we had Operation Rising Lion,
Right.
where we have a conflict with Iran, and we attacked their military nuclear program and the ballistic missile program, and of course they attacked Israel. And as our families and Israelis were sitting in the shelter in safety rooms, but on the same time we had a delegation here in Manila
Okay.
of Israeli doctors who actually, they were torn, medical doctors. They came here in order to implement a project which we are initiating here together with the Department of Health in the Rizal Hospital in Pasig, establishing a women health center.
Wow.
So giving the health services to women from all aspects, all the basket of services, which includes all aspects of health of women. And it's a modern,
It's the biggest hospital we have here.
correct. And this why, and it's a government hospital.
It is government owned.
It was interesting to see that the team was amazing. I mean, the Filipino team, Israeli team, very committed. So I'm talking about it because from one side, it's a new project. We're investing here both in bringing equipment and technologies, but of course, I think the more important side is sharing best practices and how we're doing this in Israel in order to help work it in a local, to establish it in a local setting. But at the same time, the doctors were communicating with the families in Israel,
Oh, okay.
because when there's an alarm,
They're assured.
when there's an alarm, every Israeli has an app that a missile is being launched, go into the shelter or safe room. So they wanted to make sure that the families are in the safe rooms, and then making sure that they are safe, that nothing happens. So, the heart and mind was torn. Part of it was at home, and they also wanted to be at home in the hospital because Israelis were injured, but at the same time continuing to do the work here in Manila. So that's another project which we are now in the process of implementation, and I'm really proud that we're able to do it together with Secretary Bosa. But if I look also on the really long-term other projects,
Yes.
we're not talking about this building bridges of innovation technology, we did a lot of work with private sector
Okay.
in introducing relevant Israeli, so agriculture, water, fintech, cybersecurity, medical, sort of healthcare,
Right.
a lot of technologies from Israel which are relevant. And we were able to establish an amazing joint venture between one of the big Philippine companies and an Israeli company. Today, they have it's the Metro Pacific Agro Ventures.
Okay.
They have today, it's together with the LR group and the Israeli group. And they have today, in this joint venture, the biggest greenhouses project in the Philippines, 3.5 hectares of producing top-of-the-line lettuce, all kinds of vegetables, cherry tomatoes, cucumbers, all kinds.
Yeah.
And I got some of the produce, so fresh, so good, and it's done in the most scientific, professional way. So
Organic.
it's not organic,
It's not.
but they are using much less chemicals and pesticides because it's in greenhouses, it's protected. You only give what has to be done. It's done according to protocols, so there is no residue
Okay.
in the vegetables, so it's safe.
It's not harmful.
But organic is good, I think, for niche farming, but when you want big scale,
There's 3.5 hectares.
it's 3.5 hectares, and now they're doubling the size
Okay.
because there's so much demand,
Wow,
so much
yes.
demand.
Yeah, expect that.
So for me, that's when I met the president, and he asked me, Ambassador Ilan, what we need in this country and what is top of my priorities are food security and agricultural productivity, and that's exactly
What you're doing.
what we are doing here. And maybe one last example, we have a program
Okay.
of hosting in Israel interns in agriculture. Interns.
Right. You beat
Even
me there. I
during
was about to ask that.
even during the attacks of Iran now, we have 700 Filipinos who are doing internship in agriculture program in Israel. 700. By the way, not one of them requested to come back during the
Stay
attacks because they feel safe, they feel
finish.
protected, and they want to finish the program. So we're able to increase the numbers in the last few years from 500 to 700. And again, the idea is to share our practices, the way that we are doing agriculture in Israel, and of course, assisting in implementing it here in the Philippines. And in order to make it more efficient, we expanded the partnership from working with TESDA only. Now this program is implemented together also with the Department of Agriculture and with DILG, knowing that also local government, of course, is very relevant and important for agricultural programs on local government level. So these are a few examples of what the different activities that we're doing here.
Yeah, there's so much.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
Right, this is a lot. Like the learning for the education of kiddos, the grand kiddos. These
Yes.
are really the future leaders of this country, so
Correct.
we really want this to take off. And then you have the hospital, of course, the medical care for women. And this is not everyday thing. The women are somehow neglected, they say, but you're focusing on that. And now the Metro Pacific working with the private companies for the greenhouse. We need that because food security, as you said. And now the intern, I was to ask that, Mr. Ambassador, will you still continue, whether you're leaving us very soon, but that project of yours from 500 to 700 increased in internship.
Correct.
Will you still continue that? kind of
Absolutely. There is a commitment of the Israeli government to continue. So we are now actually in the process of, the organizations who are running the program are now in the process of selecting the next batch of 700 to go to Israel.
thing? The next
And
batch.
so, because it's a full academic year, so you need all the preparations to be done. The Israeli farmers have to know that the interns are coming, the learning centers there, so everything is in motion, and that's fantastic. We're also trying to increase the number of people who are professionals who are going to Israel for short training. If you remember, during the attack now of Iran on Israel, we had some Filipinos in Israel who were official guests of the Israeli government,
Yeah, some
of the embassy.
officials.
Who were there exactly. Local. There were some
17.
mayors. 70. There were 21.
But they were safely.
They were safely repatriated back to the Philippines. We took care of bringing them back because they were our guests. And I can tell you, they were staying in shelters. They felt safe. And I saw some of them doing it, they were staying in a kibbutz hotel. So in a setting of a kibbutz, which is like more of a community. It's not a big city. So there's a lot of grass lawns outside. And then you see some of them taking their TikToks, doing all the social media
Even if we're
activities.
like going through these
Oh.
tough times, we can still manage to.
So they were not panicking at all. They were
Panicking
very
because you
relaxed,
were there
and we
to
took
really
and I saw,
assure them.
the table with the food. When we talk about Philippine hospitality, so it's very much similar to the Israeli hospitality.
I can
Food.
tell. Sure. The
And
generosity.
having guests over, bring them into your home, is very similar.
Right.
So I saw, so they got the
Working an
food, they
extra
got
mile,
everything.
Even going an extra mile just to.
To make
the
people
visitors.
feel warm, happy, and welcomed.
Was it the
So-
time, Mr. Ambassador, you went for a quick break and you left the Philippines to go back to Israel? Was that the time you saw that?
No. This was during the war. I was here, and actually it started when I was out of the country. We attacked Iran. It was a Friday morning. I was still out of the country, but I came back Sunday evening. And but my team and me from far were working immediately on the coordination of repatriating those groups. And I heard both from Secretary Kiko of the Agriculture, of course, Secretary Remudia of DILG. Both of them were very felt confident, and they knew what's happening. Of course, the embassy in Tel Aviv, and they knew that we are taking care of our guests.
Right.
And also we took care of the OFWs in Israel.
I know.
And people, there were so many questions about
Right.
the OFWs.
They phoned me, some of our, we call them modern day heroes, they called
Yes.
me and say, don't worry, we're being taken care of by the Israeli government.
So I called actually because my father-in-law is
Okay.
90, going to be 94 this year, and he has a Filipina caregiver. And I called her just to make sure she's okay and how is she feeling with this, with this situation. And she said that she's fine.
And they didn't
And
want to go home.
She didn't. She said and I asked her, "What about your friends? Did anybody want to go home?" She said, "No, they're all fine. We go into the shelter when there's an alarm, and everything is fine. We'll continue our job. We'll take care of our patients." And so I was very happy to hear that. It
You
was
just
very
have to
assuring.
really abide by your, protocol. and
Exactly,
rules,
exactly.
So that there will be no.
Like here, we have like you have an app here when there's an earthquake. So it's similar, or a typhoon, and flooding. So the same in Israel, we developed an app which is addressing not the natural calamities, but more of the man-made. When there is a missile launched, it gives a 10-minute actually warning, because it takes
That
time
fast.
from the missile, until from its launching in Iran
Okay,
until it might
right.
intercept and fall in Israel. It's about, if it's not intercepted, it will be 10 minutes. So you get a warning 10 minutes in advance to go into the shelter or safe room. And then, of course, you have the sirens, and the app works in English and Hebrew
I can understand.
and Russian and Arabic,
Okay.
because basically gives the person, the people who use it, so that at least they can read it. So all these languages, yeah.
So yeah, they were really assured when I was interviewing one of our OFWs, and they said, "Oh, don't worry about us. We are being taken care of. The Israeli government and everyone is really helping, from all the personnel. They're like, they want to really stay there. They didn't want to go home."
And we appreciate. I mean, it's
That's
important
kinda-
for us.
Yeah.
That number one, of course, it's important that they stay, but it's important for us that they feel at home.
Yeah.
Because we always say that the Filipinos are part of our families. They live with our families, so they're really family members. And I know people really care, and they make sure that they're okay.
Right. You consider us family.
Absolutely.
That's our culture. We're similar.
Both cultures, the value of family in both cultures is so important, and that's a very important actually link and an issue which unites our peoples.
It's like you're so clannish.
Correct,
It's
correct.
like just
Planish or getting together in weekends, you go always Sundays, it's a family
Right,
day.
fun time.
And the same in Israel. Friday evening and Saturdays are the family days.
the
Absolutely.
TGIF, they say, okay, thank God it's Friday. Go to
Exactly.
child event, and then one with the family. Next question would be, before we take a break, would be, how has your focus on fostering innovation between Israel and the Philippines impacted both our countries?
Ang oras natin ngayon, 5:21 na magandang hapon.
Oras, hatid sa inyo ng PAGCOR.
Oras hatid sa inyo ng PCSO. Hindi umuurong sa pagtulong.
Si Miss Loli Acosta, Sulong na Bayan! Sa DWIZ 882.
Ako, ikaw, everybody, every bubbly, pop a Cali. Si ate, si teacher at little boy, si BF, si Frenny at mom boy. Every bubbly, pop a Cali. Ati flavors, peanut bubbly, pineapple, Cali bubbly, apple, Cali bubbly, light, Cali bubbly. You, me, sila, us, we. Everybody, every bubbly, pop a Cali. Magnolia, feeling good, sarap.
Panatilihing masaya ang paglilibang. Magtakda na oras at limitahan ang gastos sa paglalaro. Huwag magsugal kung nalulungkot. Huwag hayaang makasira ng buhay at pamilya. Para sa impormasyon ukol sa responsible gaming, tumawag lamang sa hotline number 02-8404-0171 o bisitahin ang www.casinofilipino.ph. Isang mensahe mula sa PAGCOR. Gambling is for 21 years old and above only. Keep it fun. Game responsibly.
Adik ka na ba sa sugal? Lagi ka bang nakakaramdam na matinding udyok na magsugal? Laging gigil na makabawi sa pagkatalo? Naglalaan ka ba ng mas malaking oras at salapi para sa sugal sa halip na para sa pamilya? Nababaon ka na ba sa utang at nagbebenta ng mga ari-arian dahil sa pagsusugal? Kung kailangan mo ng tulong o maging ang isang mahal mo sa buhay, may mga programa ang Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation o PAGCOR tulad ng Player Exclusion Program at iba pa. Para sa dagdag na detalye at impormasyon tungkol sa problem gambling, mag-log on sa www.pagcor.ph/regulatory/responsible.ph. Isang paalala mula sa PAGCOR. Game safely, game responsibly.
Maglaro sa Bingo Plus app para tuloy-tuloy ang premyo at saya. At malay mo mapanalunan mo pa ang jackpot prize sa first online live stream bingo sa Pinas. Bingo Plus, bingo sa saya plus sa panalo. Gaming for 21 years old and above only. Visit pagcor.ph/regulatory or email keepitfun@pagcor.ph. Game responsibly. Keep it fun. Maglaro sa Bingo Plus app para tuloy-tuloy ang premyo at saya. At malay mo mapanalunan mo pa ang jackpot prize sa first online live stream bingo sa Pinas. Bingo Plus, bingo sa saya plus sa panalo. Gaming for 21 years old and above only. Visit pagcor.ph/regulatory or email keepitfun@pagcor.ph. Game responsibly. Keep it fun.
Download Bingo Plus app now on Google Play and Apple App Store for a chance to win up to 935 million pesos jackpot prize. Visit bingoplus.com to learn more. With Bingo Plus, bingo sa saya plus sa panalo. Gaming is for 21 years old and above only. Game responsibly. Keep it fun.
Urong sa pagtulong, kawa sa lahat sinusulong. PCSO, PCSO. Urong sa pagtulong ang PCSO, PCSO.
San Miguel Pale Pilsen presents isa, dalawa, tawa.
Koko, patulong naman sa mga tanong namin oh.
Game.
Anong tawag sa beer na nakakatawa?
Ano?
Eddie Biro! Ano naman tawag sa beer na kumakanta?
Ano?
Eddie Beer It!
Anong tawag sa beer na nauubos?
Alam ko yan! Di sa beer!
Tumpa! Kaya bili na tayo ng San Miguel Pale Pilsen.
San Miguel Pale Pilsen, sarap laging kasama. Drink responsibly.
Papalakas ng papalakas, palinaw ng palinaw, mga balita at impormasyong naiintindihan dahil malinaw mong nalaman. Tutok lang sa DWIZ mula umaga hanggang gabi. Updated on air and online. DWIZ, nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama.
Ang balitang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng Petron. Petron knows you deserve only the best.
Ang balitang ito ay hatid sa inyo ng PCSO. Hindi umuurong sa pagtulong.
Latest, pinakabago at tama. DWIZ News Catch Up. News Catch Up.
Pilipinas, narito na ang mga tamang balita sa oras na ito. Kaalyado ni dating Pangulong Duterte, siya ang mamumuno sa Senate Blue Ribbon Committee. Ang detalye mula kay Patrol 19 Celi Ortega Bueno.
Ang neophyte senator na kaalyado ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte na Senator Rodante Marcoleta ang magiging chairman ng isa sa mga tinuturing na makapangyarihang committee. Ito yung Committee on Accountability of Public Officers and Investigation o ito yung Blue Ribbon Committee. Ito yung committee na nag-iimbestiga ng mga isyu ng katiwalian sa mga opisyal ng gobyerno. Bukod sa Blue Ribbon Committee, pamumunuan ni Senator Marcoleta ang Committee on Trade, Commerce and Entrepreneurship. Sa plenary session ngayong hapon, inielect ang mga magiging chairman ng iba't ibang committee sa Senado para sa 28th Congress. Senator Joel Villanueva ang otomatiko na chairman ng Committee on Rules, habang Senate President Pro Tempore Jingo Estrada mananatiling chairman ng National Defense, Peace and Unification Committee. Senator Alan Peter Cayetano mananatiling 4 na committee ang pamumunuan. Ito yung mananatili siyang chairman ng Committee on Accounts, Committee on Higher Technical and Vocational Education Committee, nadagdag sa kanya ang Justice and Human Rights at Science and Technology. Si Senator Kiko Pangilinan magiging chairman ng Committee on Agriculture, Food and Agrarian Reform, Senator Bam Aquino. Siya na mamumuno ng Senate Committee on Basic Education. Senator Robin Padilla, mananatiling chairman ng Constitutional Amendments and Revision of Codes. At siya pa rin ang chairman ng Cultural Communities and Muslim Affairs at Public Information and Mass Media Committee. Senator Pia Cayetano, chairman ng Committee on Energy, Sustainable Development, Goals, Innovation, and Future Thinking Committee at Ways and Means Committee. Si Senator Camille Villar, na isa sa mga neophyte senator, siya magiging chairman ng Environment, Natural Resources, and Climate Change. Senator Sherwin Gatchalian na ang magiging chairman ng Senate Committee on Finance, na siyang magsasagawa ng pagdinig at mga ngasiwa sa pag-approve ng taunang pambansang budget. Senator Bato de la Rosa, mananatiling chairman ng Public Order and Dangerous Drugs. Senator J. Versito, Local Government Committee at Tourism Committee. Senator Bongo, mananatiling chairman ng Committee on Health and Demography, chairman ng Sports at chairman ng Committee on Youth. Senator Amy Marcos, chairman pa rin ng Foreign Relations Committee. Siya na mamumuno ng Labor, Employment and Human Resources Committee at gayon din mananatili siyang chairman ng Committee on Cooperatives. Senator Raffy Tulfo, mananatiling chairman ng Migrant Workers at Public Services Committee, habang ang kanyang kapatid na si neophyte Senator Erwin Tulfo ang mamuno sa Games and Amusement Committee at Social Justice, Welfare and Rural Development Committee, habang Senator Mark Villar ang sa Public Works. Meron pang ilang mga committee na nanatitira na walang chairmanship na maaaring ibigay sa iba pang miyembro na majority at maaaring yung iba ay ialok naman sa mga miyembro ng Senate Minority Bloc. Ito sa Patrol 19, Sally Ortega Bueno, para sa impilang metodong lakas sa DWIZ, nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama.
DWIZ News Catch Up. News Catch Up.
Samantala, pagtalakay sa korupsyon sa flood control projects ni Pangulong Marcos sa gitna ng kanyang SONA, ikinalugod ng isang mambabatas. Ang detalye mula kay Patrol 30, Jelly Mendez.
Ikinalugod ni si BAC Party List Representative Eddie Villanueva na natalakay sa ika-4 na State of the Nation address ni Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. ang issue ng korupsyon sa flood control projects. Ayon kay Villanueva, matagal na niyang iginigiit ang nangyayaring katiwalian sa flood control kung saan ay lumala pa umano ang pagbaha sa bansa. Sa kabila ng bilyong pisong halaga ng pondong inilaan ng gobyerno, naniniwala ang mambabatas na maglalatag si Pangulong Marcos ng mas konkretong mga hakbang upang tugunan ang graft and corruption at masiguro na ang bawat pondo ay nakalaan sa mas mahusay na serbisyo. Umaasa si Villanueva na mabibigyan ng pansin ni Pangulong Marcos ang usapin ng online gambling matapos itong hindi matalakay sa ika-4 na SONA. Anya, kabilang ang online gambling sa sumisira sa maraming buhay ng mga Pilipino na nagre-resulta sa pagkakautang at pagkakawatak-watak ng kanilang pamilya. Para naman kay mamayang Liberal Party List Representative Leila de Lima, kulang ang SONA ng Pangulo dahil wala itong pahayag ukol sa karapatang pantao. Patay mali siya sa online gambling at sa impeachment, pati na sa maling paggamit ng confidential at intelligence fund. Dagdag pa ni Kamanggagawa Party List Representative Eli San Fernando, ang SONA ay mistulang naging pagbaliwala sa mga manggagawa matapos na hindi marinig ang wage reform at labor rights. Iginiit ng kongresista na bulok na script umano ang tinitingnan o pag-aaralan pa ang panukala, kaya malinaw na mas prioridad ng Administrasyong Marcos ang interes ng malalaking kumpanya. Ito si Patrol 30. Jelly Mendez nag-uulat para sa impinang metodong lakas sa DWIZ. Nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama.
DWIZ News Catch Up. News Catch Up.
At iyan ang mga tamang balita sa oras na ito. Mag-follow at subscribe sa lahat ng DWIZ News Digital Channels, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, X, DWIZ News App at DWIZ News website. Ako po si Gia Rafael, nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama.
Oras-oras nagbabalita ng tama, naglilingkod ng tama. DWIZ News Catch Up. News Catch Up.
Ang balitang ito ay inihatid sa inyo ng Petron. Petron knows you deserve only the best.
Ang balitang ito ay inihatid sa inyo ng PCSO. Hindi umuurong sa pagtulong.
Ang oras natin ngayon, 5:32 p.m.
Oras hatid sa inyo ng Bingo Plus. Download Bingo Plus app now on Google Play and Apple App Store for a chance to win up to 935 million pesos jackpot prize. Visit bingoplus.com to learn more. With Bingo Plus, bingo sa saya plus sa panalo. Gaming is for 21 years old and above only. Game responsibly. Keep it fun.
Oras hatid sa inyo ng Pagcor.
Oras hatid sa inyo ng PCSO. Hindi umuurong sa pagtulong.
Si Miss Loli Acosta, Sulong na Bayan sa DWIZ 882.
Okay, we're back in our program Sulong na Bayan, that's Soar High Philippines, of course with our special guest no less than His Excellency Israeli Ambassador to the Philippines, Ambassador Ilan Flus, for his farewell episode. I keep saying this because I'm really lonely. But yes, we would want to find out more of what he has really experienced in our country. So the next question, the hanging question before we pause, Mr. Ambassador, how has your focus on fostering innovation between Israel and the Philippines impacted both our countries?
So another actually successful example is if I move from private sector to what we did with government, we have a partnership with ARTA, the Anti-Red Tape Authority. I was been in Israel twice in order to see the Israeli innovation, how it works, especially innovation within government, and then focusing on a specific sector, which is the water sector. So of course, ARTA deals with red tape and making processes more efficient, which is very important, and streamlining and making things quicker and better to make ease of doing business. And just recently, they were able to launch the end of this process on the issue of water permits, etc. And this work was based on Israeli knowledge, on a visit to Israel, Israeli expert who came here and did a workshop here in the Philippines on the Israeli water management and regulation. So we had a lot of exchanges, and that led already to a working streamline within ARTA. So this is an example of how we're helping on regulation, on processes, on government work, which, you know, I'm also part of government, and government is known to be sometimes slow and bureaucratic. So it's nice to see that Israel is able to assist in those really processes and making them. So ARTA today, I consider ARTA really a very close agency to me, to Israel. Secretary Perez, the head of ARTA, is also becoming a very good personal friend. So this is an example. We also worked with DOST.
Okay, that's science.
And yes, on innovation, because they are also promoting innovation, more on the more basic side of innovation coming from the academe, of course, and research universities. We were able to have a visit to Israel, and including an agreement which was signed between the DTI and the Israeli Innovation Authority on innovation within the startups, more looking on the, a little bit, let's say the next stage after the DOST is more of the small businesses and the startups. So we're trying to work in the different aspects of innovation, in promoting collaborations, in sharing practices, in order to assist.
Best practices.
Exactly, best practices, and how Israel has become really a global hub of innovation. It's, you know, it's called the Silicon Valley of the Middle East. Most of our experts are, and the GDP is more from the high-tech sector. So we wanted to share this experience. It's very interesting that even after the October 7 attack on Israel, and we're in such a complicated situation in a war, you would think that investors will not come to Israel.
Frightened.
Yes. And it's so impressive to see that investments in Israel continue to come in. If it is on cybersecurity, just a few months ago, an Israeli company was sold to Google for $23 billion.
Wow, that's amazing.
Which is dealing with cybersecurity, with clouds. But it shows, I think for me, it shows the resiliency of the Israeli economy, of the Israeli startup scene in Israel, and Israel is still very attractive and very interesting. And I want to bring this attractiveness to the Philippines. I'm also working with another organization, the Manila Angels Investment Network, Maine. It's an organization of investors, and I'm in touch with other investors in the Philippines in the same thing of introducing the Israeli startup and technologies to identify interesting opportunities for making money, for investing. So
revenues.
we're touching exactly revenues. Basically, look, private sector, which is the most important engine for growth in a country, has to make profit. Unlike government, we need to invest into assisting the country in development. Private sector, of course, is part of development, but their aspect, and that's why I think it's very important, is to make a profit. That's why it's more sustainable. So I'm working a lot with the private sector.
Imagine convincing all these foreign investors to
exactly. And I'm working these days with a couple of Israeli companies who want to invest in the Philippines.
For what?
In agriculture.
Okay,
you know,
food security.
Why is Israel so advanced? Why? What's the reason? Because Israel is a very small, but why agriculture? And why water? And why cybersecurity? Because
like
we
a
are
barren city and a barren land.
Exactly.
Who would have thought? I was there in Israel and I saw, amazing, all the greens, all the agriculture, all the plants booming, all that.
While you know that 50% of Israel is dry land.
That's right.
Not enough water, not enough, and it's a small country. It's 1/5 of Luzon Island. So the Israeli approach is maximizing outputs, so productivity, and minimizing inputs, less soil, less water, less investments. Exactly, drip irrigation and all kinds of technologies. So saving water, but at the same time having more produce. Now, in the Philippines, it's such a fertile country.
We are,
and you have so much land and so much water and so much rain.
Land. It's just like when you put something
exactly
there, like grow.
Exactly, it's paradise.
Right.
So let's, and this is why I agree with the president, and I support very much that his number one priority is agricultural productivity, food security, rice, vegetables, etc. And there are Israeli companies who understand, because when there's a challenge, and there's a challenge here, look at it as an opportunity.
It is.
So we have already 3 Israeli companies, one is already here invested, 2 more who want to come here to invest in specific sectors, in specific parts of the agriculture sector, knowing that so much can be done here, the potential is amazing, and they will gain out of it, and the Filipino partners will gain out of it, and the Philippine economy will exactly. So there's so much that we can do here. So I'm assisting this.
Mr. Ambassador, I think we have Erie Irrigation School. Right.
The Rice Center, yes, Erie.
People from different parts of the world go and have training.
Correct.
They go training in our country.
Correct. You know, when I was here in the 90s, as I said, I'm a Bayan ambassador, right? And from 95 to 98, I was here. And here I learned, my wife, how to make rice properly and how to choose proper rice. And this was in the 90s. And you're talking about Erie, which, you know, in those years, in the 70s, in the 80s, Philippines was really number one in the region. Slowly, other countries caught up. And I think it's time now for us together to invest in agriculture sector to get the Philippines back into producing the most quality vegetable products, rice, vegetables, dairy production, which is so low now, and we can work together to do more. So many opportunities, and I would like to bring the Israeli companies to work with counterparts here in order to fulfill these opportunities.
Even if you're like going back, we will really, please update us for these Manila investors that you're convincing to come, so we would know what to do next as well. And next question would be, how would you describe the current state of the relationship between your country and our country, and how has it evolved during your 4-year tenure?
So, as I said, from one side, a lot of growth. We had the visits here of the Israeli Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister of Tourism, to promote, and hopefully soon another visit of an Israeli minister. So from government side, there is momentum. Private sector, I do see momentum. Of course, since October 7, we have also some challenges, and it's a bit more complicated. We would like to see more happening with employment, and we would like to attract more OFWs to Israel. We need more foreign labor in Israel, and there are more opportunities for Filipinos. But we need to work with the DFA and the Department of Migrant Workers, DMW. First of all, they need exactly Hans Kagdak, and first of all, we need to reduce hopefully the government here will be able to reduce the level of alert from level 2 to level 1, because meantime it's level 2, which means there's no new recruitment of OFWs to Israel. There's a freeze. And we would like, because we need more labor, we have a lot of appreciation for the Philippine workers.
What kind of jobs, Mr. Ambassador, are there?
Well, we need more caregivers.
Healthcare, maybe.
That's from one, not only, that's from one side. We're opening actually 10 different sectors, including in industries, including in construction. I mean, we have to enter into discussions with the Philippine government to see how we do it, because it's important for us that it will be done government to government, because we have to make sure that hiring is done properly according to legislation and regulation in Israel and in the Philippines.
Different laws.
So there are a lot of opportunities, and it's something that we'll have to continue working. Also, my successor will have, and I'm sure she will continue in working in identifying the right time to open up for more OFWs
Because I
in
remember,
Israel.
Mr. Ambassador, when I was there again, I did an interview with professional Filipinos. They're not just lowly salaried, because they're high in their profession. One is, I think, an architect. The other one is a professional singer. In fact, there's like I don't know what kind of competition was that, Israel Got Talent.
Yes.
And Filipina won.
Correct.
Was able to do the interview.
Ah, really?
We're so proud of her.
Yes,
She
yes.
sings very beautifully,
Yes.
and the voice is
Yes.
so impactful. So these are, what am I saying? These are highly skilled. So you still need highly skilled.
So we need a combination, depends on what sectors, but we need skilled people. I would say not like doctors, but again, depends on the different sectors. And it's important to say, even the caregivers, we can say from one side that they're not skilled or highly trained, but on the other hand, they're so important, their salaries are good. I mean, there's a very clear regulation on minimum salary, on benefits that they get, social protection and pension funds and everything else. So they get a very good package, very attractive package, and we're very careful to make sure that there's no
Won't be shortchanged, in other words.
No, we need them to stay long time. We need them to be happy, to be satisfied, and they're getting exactly the same conditions as Israeli workers. They get the same protection.
Okay, when we come back, when we return, we will ask the good ambassador, how is he preparing to go back to Israel? But we have to pause for another break.
Si Miss Loli Acosta, Sulong na Bayan sa DWIZ 882.
Ako, ikaw, everybody, every bubbly, hop a Cali. Si ate, si teacher at little boy, si BF, si Frenny at mom boy. Every bubbly, pop a Cali. Pati flavors keep it bubbly. Pineapple, Cali bubbly, apple, Cali bubbly, light, Cali bubbly. Pati you, me, sila sweet. Everybody, every bubbly, pop a Cali. Magnolia, feeling good, sarap.
Panatilihing masaya ang paglilibang. Magtakda na oras at limitahan ang gastos sa paglalaro. Huwag magsugal kung nalulungkot. Huwag hayaang makasira ng buhay at pamilya. Para sa impormasyon ukol sa responsible gaming, tumawag lamang sa hotline number 02-8404-0171 o bisitahin ang www.casinofilipino.ph. Isang mensahe mula sa PAGCOR. Gambling is for 21 years old and above only. Keep it fun. Game responsibly.
Adik ka na ba sa sugal? Lagi ka bang nakakaramdam na matinding udyok na magsugal? Laging gigil na makabawi sa pagkatalo? Naglalaan ka ba ng mas malaking oras at salapi para sa sugal sa halip na para sa pamilya? Nababaon ka na ba sa utang at nagbebenta ng mga ari-arian dahil sa pagsusugal? Kung kailangan mo ng tulong o maging ang isang mahal mo sa buhay, may mga programa ang Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation o PAGCOR tulad ng Player Exclusion Program at iba pa. Para sa dagdag na detalye at impormasyon tungkol sa problem gambling, mag-log on sa www.pagcor.ph/regulatory/responsible.ph. Isang paalala mula sa PAGCOR. Game safely, game responsibly.
San Miguel Pale Pilsen presents Isa, Dalawa, Tawa!
Coco, patulong naman sa mga tanong namin oh.
Game!
Anong tawag sa beer na nakakatawa?
Ano?
Edi Biro! Ano naman tawag sa beer na kumakanta?
Ano?
Edi Beer It!
Anong tawag sa beer na nauubos?
Alam ko yan! Di sa beer!
Tumpa! Kaya bili na tayo ng San Miguel Pale Pilsen.
San Miguel Pale Pilsen, sarap laging kasama. Drink responsibly.
Urong sa pagtulong, kaw-gawa sa lahat sinusulong. PCSO, PCSO. Di urong sa pagtulong ang PCSO, PCSO. DWIZ.
Si Miss Loli Acosta, Sulong na Bayan sa DWIZ 882.
Hey, we're back in our program Sulong na Bayan, that's Soaring High Philippines. And with our segment Envoys and Entrepreneurs, we still have with us today our special guest, no less than His Excellency Israeli Ambassador to the Philippines, Ambassador Ilan Flus. And the hanging question, now that you are preparing to go back and return to your country, what are your plans, Mr. Ambassador, moving forward? Will you continue to work on the projects that you mentioned earlier related to our country?
Well, first let me say that it's really mixed feelings. You know, I'm completing now 4 years, 3 years in the 90s, so 7 years really in the Philippines. So it's mixed feelings, mixed emotions. As it's coming, you are seeing the end coming close.
Right.
But I'm happy to go home, to be with my kids, my parents, and of course to be at home. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I will make sure that I leave behind I'm not just saying a legacy, but there are a lot of things, a lot of projects and initiatives that I'm sure that my successor will continue in implementing. Of course, the team is there, and I will assist her. And we had already a lot of meetings and preparation.
You said she.
She. It's a woman ambassador. Yes, yes, yes.
The next ambassador
She'll
will
be a lady. Yes,
lady.
yes, yes.
And yes, you will be like briefing her. Okay, these are the
Absolutely.
things that are. So what lessons or insights have you gained from your time in the Philippines that you will carry when you go back to Israel? What kind of experiences really are you like taking to Israel?
So many.
Okay, maybe name 3 or
I
highlights.
think, you know, if I look on my personal personal life, I had such beautiful visits here, from the hiking in Mount Pulag and Mount Ulap, and really seeing the beautiful scenery and nature in the Philippines and the mountains, Sagada in Banawe. So it's not only about islands. So this I always talk about the mountains first, but the other hand is, of course, the visit to the islands, and I had an amazing experience with my family when my children were not so young anymore, came to visit, and we went together, 6 of us, my wife and our kids, and then we went together, you know, diving together, all of us. It was just, you know, an amazing feeling that we here in the Philippines exactly. It's the bonding together as a family that we're able to do here in the Philippines, sort of isolated from other from Israel, from the news, and it was really so successful and so. And the setting of the Philippines, some of those visits with my kids in the Philippine islands.
Did they enjoy it?
It was fantastic. With kiddos, and also 31 years old.
Young adults. But you love hiking, Mr. Ambassador.
Yes.
So when you do that or you walk, does it take away a little bit of your stress?
That's the whole idea for me. When I go hiking or diving, and the first thing I did after I arrived here, I think like 3 or 4 weeks after I arrived, I did my certification that I can dive safely and properly, and that's one of the ways to de-stress. And I add to it, of course, the running in different places in the Philippines. I like to go running.
Right, because our chairman, D. Edgar Cabangon, the chairman of our ALC group of companies, is your walking buddy.
Yes.
You like jogging buddy.
Exactly.
They do that all the time. Yeah. Again, the takeaway, what other experiences will you bring to Israel?
So I take with me also the Philippines. I mean, I would say the Filipinos are the kindest people on earth. It's something I always say, the warmth, the openness, the hospitality, and it comes also from the issue what we said before about the family, the value of family. And that's something that you don't have in many places.
Really?
And I do think that it's also something in common between the Jewish and Israeli tradition and the Filipino approach and tradition. And that's why I came to appreciate it so much, and it's something that I will carry with me, because in a way I'll miss it a lot. But it's the lesson here is it's not always that we need to work through our intellect and the brain. It's also a community. We are human beings. It's the heart. It's not only the mind, it's the heart, which is very important. And it's the same in Israel. When we see the people, with the war and all these analysts who are criticizing us from all kinds of pure scientific way, come to Israel, see who we are, understand who we are. And I think the same is in the Philippines. And you understand also where we're coming from, you understand reality, you understand the situation, and then I think you see things in a very different perspective. But if I go back, I would say taking the lesson of how important it is to be kind and warm to other people. It changes the dynamics.
Right.
It's so important.
A whole lot is changed and transformed because you're coming, your behavior is exhibited in a kind manner. So the people you'll be talking with will also do the same.
Exactly.
And to you, and they look at you as a very sincere in your integrity. Is
Exactly. Exactly.
Excellent. So
of course you have to. You still have to be analytic in a way and to understand what you are doing to be professional.
Right.
But you must add to it this dimension of warmth, of sincerity, of the heart.
And they say, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks.
Correct.
So when the ambassador speaks like this, because it is really inherent in him, in his being, every fiber of his being is really being kind to us. Imagine bringing some investors. We're looking forward to that. Very, very.
And I take with me one more thing, which is, the resiliency of the Filipino people.
Okay.
Because this is a country that, and you suffer every year from at least 20 typhoons. At least.
Visited by typhoons.
Typhoons, and then you have the earthquakes, and then you have the volcanoes. So natural disasters are something in common. Unfortunately, are common here. And I made it a point to visit communities in order to bring some assistance after disasters, after typhoons. Food packs, water purification systems, shelter. It depends. And you engage with the community. And you see that people, lost everything, but they're still smiling.
They still manage to smile.
Yes.
Because we know that tomorrow is another day.
Yeah, but you know,
Maybe
but
this time
in
we're
some
going to
places,
it.
people would become, you know, depressed,
Yeah.
maybe aggressive, maybe,
And maybe in their
negative,
lives, some of them
yeah.
would.
So, and here that's not the case, and it's something. So for me, it was important to go out. First of all, to be with the people who need assistance, to be with them, and also I learned from them.
Really?
Yes, to be this resiliency. By the way, yesterday we had a webinar of Israeli medical doctors who are basically in charge of the trauma and emergency units in a hospital, especially in light of the war now, sort of the attacks from Iran, on preparedness of hospitals for such disasters and emergencies. And we had more than 550 doctors in the Philippines who joined this webinar, and the exchange and the questions, it was actually fascinating.
What was it?
And I mean, of course, I mean, we want to see how to continue. It was the first webinar. And there was so much interest. Okay, I mean, Israel, we invest a lot
These
into
Filipinos,
it.
most of them.
Filipino doctors here in the Philippines. It was done with the Department of Health here.
All right, DWIZ.
So Israeli doctors by Zoom joined, and we gave the presentations, including medical insights on treatment and things like that, on what kind of teams have to be waiting for the victims, etc., etc. Fascinating discussion. But again, this is something on emergency preparedness, on disasters, in sharing experiences, how to do it better, how to serve our people better. And this is exactly when I talk about the human dimension. Yes, we're bringing technologies, we're doing things, we're bringing best practices, but the goal of all this, it's not only about the numbers and making the economy grow and more stable, it is touching human life. And that for me as an ambassador is so important, to see how I can touch human life in a positive way and transform and make the life better. If it is on food security, if it is in the education, if it is on the medical side, and if it is after disasters, victims of natural disasters. And maybe one last thing, which was also very personal, is me and my wife. We came close to a shelter, a house for girls who are victims of human trafficking and sexual abuse, and run by nuns. And we created a very special bond with the center, and we're always visiting,
They realize that you're there to really help
It's
them.
even just our presence there makes those girls so it gives them an aspiration, gives them a model and strength on how they can really cope and lead their life to the future. And we brought some different programs to assist them, and some sort of different material assistance, but also Israeli singers or drummers, Israeli drummers who came here. We had a program with the drummers, and we took them to perform and to do activity with the girls, because they were women drummers. So part of the program is actually empowerment of women, and all these are girls. Actually, the Israeli drummers were in tears. They were in tears. They were so moved by the girls. So
that's
another.
We have so much more to ask the good ambassador, but our time is running really close. But one more question. There's been talks for years about the return of Manila-Tel Aviv flights. I recall Philippine Airlines, our official flight carrier, has direct flight. Before, I used to take that flight before servicing pilgrims and others. Is there a chance to that flight to?
It's something on the agenda. And now Philippine Airlines has a new presidency and CEO, which I'm supposed to meet. Due to I'm not pushing it now. I pushed it until October 7, 2023, 642 days ago. But I'm specific, 642, I'll tell you why. Because we have, as you know, we still have 50 people, 50 Israelis as hostages held in captivity in Gaza. And I count the days. 20 of those 50 are still alive, 30 have been murdered, and we're putting so much pressure to bring them home. Every day that they are there is another day of torture, and that they can die. So it's so important to bring them home. So this is why I know exactly how many days, because we count the days. So, but if I go back, I spoke to Philippine Airlines. End of the day, an airline is a private sector. They need to make sure that they have an income of those flights, and that it brings an income. It's a commercial activity.
Right.
So I'm sharing with them the numbers and the way we see it. And I really hope Philippine Airlines will have direct flights, because when you have direct flights, it's strategic. It makes connectivity. It makes it so easy that people can go and visit and do business, tourism, pilgrimage, work,
How
everything.
far is it? What's the proximity?
It will be about, if the direct flights, I think will be about 11-hour flights, something like that, yeah. So it's not so bad, it can be done. But of course, it's a question of priorities, of the fleet that they have or they don't have, and they have also other, aircrafts, they have also other lines. How do they give the service better to their clients? So it's up to them to decide, but certainly it is on my agenda, because direct flights, it's a strategic element which will bring the two countries closer.
And talk about closer. Okay, if you could leave one message to us, the Filipino people viewing you right now, as you conclude your mission, what would it be?
Mixed feelings, but I wanted to say thank you very much for receiving me and really accepting me as part of you.
Family.
Because part of the family. I wanted to say maraming salamat. Thank you very much. In Hebrew we say toda rabba, because it made my life here, my work here, my wife's stay here so much easier, and it gave me confidence in implementing my vision of building bridges of innovation and technology and people between our two countries. And I'm living with mixed emotions, but on the other hand, I know that the relations are so stable and are in a positive momentum, and I'm living with a message of let's continue to work together in bringing those relations to the next stage. But most of it, I wanted to say, really, the main message is thank you very much for being who you are, the kindest people on earth, and I hope we can, I'm sure, we'll keep this special bond and special relationship. Thank you.
Thank you, Sukran, and thank you so much. And inshallah, I say, and God bless you and your trip, and have a safe trip. And yes, what we learned from the good ambassador is the word love. I think he has so much love in his heart. Out of the abundance of his heart, he exhibited love in those 4 or actually 6 years in his stay in our country, and that's why he was able to really bond with us together as like a family. So thank you for your love, and we wish you love wherever you're going again to Israel. God bless everyone. Thank you, Mr. Ambassador.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Si Miss Loli Acosta, Sulong na Bayan sa DWIZ.